mother leopard panicked and begged for help. What happened next was unbelievable. It was a typical sunny afternoon, the kind where people are caught up in the humdrum of their daily lives. Commuters in cars, vendors on the roadside, families taking leisurely strolls. Everything seemed normal until an unexpected shadow loomed on the horizon. The bustling chatter died down, replaced by murmurs of confusion and fear. A leopard, a massive wild predator, had emerged, walking boldly down the crowded road. At first, there was silence, a moment of disbelief, as if people weren't sure what they were seeing. Then came the panic. Screams echoed as people scattered, ducking behind cars, climbing onto rooftops, or running as fast as their legs could carry them. The predator's sudden presence in this urban setting had thrown everyone into chaos. But the leopard, it was calm, eerily calm. As it moved forward, its golden fur glistened in the sunlight, its piercing eyes scanning the crowd. Those eyes, though, didn't carry the cold sharpness of a hunter. Instead, they were filled with something unexpected: pain. A sorrow so profound it seemed to seep into anyone who dared to look too closely. The leopard walked slowly, deliberately, its every step measured, as though it had a purpose far beyond what anyone could understand. Despite its calm demeanor, the crowd kept their distance. Fear is a powerful thing, and even the faintest possibility of danger was enough to make people tremble. Yet, amidst the sea of terrified faces, a small group of brave young men stood their ground. They didn't run. They didn't scream. Instead, they watched, curiosity etched on their faces. There was something mesmerizing about this leopard, something different. One of the young men, his hands trembling, but his resolve firm, stepped forward ever so slightly, trying to read the leopard's movements. The predator noticed him. It stopped. For a moment, the world seemed to freeze. Then, in an act that shocked everyone, the leopard extended its paw, gently reaching for the man's hand. It wasn't an attack. It was almost a plea. The young man flinched, fear taking over as he stumbled backward, retreating behind a nearby car. But the leopard didn't react aggressively. Instead, its eyes seemed to grow sadder, more desperate. It was as if it were trying to communicate, trying to bridge the vast gap between its wild instincts and the human world. Amidst the chaos, an older man, perhaps in his 50s, with a face weathered by time and experience, stepped forward. His movements were slow, deliberate, and calm. Unlike the others, he didn't see a predator. He saw an animal in distress. He studied the leopard's body language, the way it moved, the way its eyes darted nervously between the crowd and the road ahead. He understood something that no one else did. This leopard wasn't here to attack. It was here for help. The man stood firm as the leopard approached. The crowd gasped, their collective breath held as they watched what seemed like a reckless act of bravery or madness. But the leopard didn't harm him. Instead, it leaned its massive head against his chest, as though seeking comfort. The man gently placed his hand on the leopard's head, stroking its fur in a way that conveyed understanding, compassion, and trust. Just as quickly as it had approached, the leopard turned and began to walk away. But it didn't disappear into the wild. Instead, it glanced back repeatedly, as if urging the man and the crowd to follow. Intrigued and emboldened by the animal's behavior, the man took the first step after it. Slowly, others joined, their fear giving way to curiosity. Together, they followed the leopard, their footsteps echoing on the now eerily silent road. The journey led them out of the town and into a more remote area. The leopard moved with purpose, leading the group to an old, abandoned well hidden amidst the trees. As they approached, they heard faint whimpers coming from deep inside. Peering into the darkness, they were stunned to see a tiny leopard cub at the bottom of the well, trembling and weak. The cub had likely been trapped for days, unable to climb out, with no food or water to sustain it. In that moment, everything made sense. The mother leopard's actions, her calmness, her pleading gaze. It had all been for this. She wasn't there to harm anyone. She had risked everything, even her life, to seek help for her baby. The crowd, once fearful and scattered, now came together. They were moved by the mother leopard's bravery and intelligence, and they knew they had to act. Someone quickly brought a large iron cage, the kind used for animal rescues. Food was placed inside to lure the cub closer. Carefully, they lowered the cage into the well. The cub, too weak to resist, sniffed the food and entered the cage. With precision and teamwork, the group began hoisting the cage upward. It was no easy task. The well was deep, and the cage was heavy, but no one gave up. As they worked, the mother leopard climbed a nearby tree, her piercing eyes never leaving her cub. She stayed vigilant, watching every move, ensuring her baby was safe. Hours passed, and the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the forest. Finally, with one last pull, the cage emerged from the well. The crowd erupted in quiet cheers, their relief palpable. The cage door was opened, and the cub, now free, immediately ran toward the forest. The mother leopard leaped down from her perch, rushing to her baby's side. Together, they disappear into the darkness, their silhouettes fading into the safety of the trees. The crowd watched in silence, their hearts full of admiration for the mother leopard's courage and the bond she shared with her child. This extraordinary encounter left everyone deeply moved. It wasn't just a story of survival. It was a story of love, of a mother's unwavering determination to protect her child, and of the unexpected connection between humans and wildlife. The people who once ran in fear now stood united in awe, reminded of the profound lessons nature often teaches us. If this story touched your heart, consider the role we all play in preserving wildlife and their habitats. Acts of kindness, whether big or small, can make a world of difference. Support local wildlife organizations, volunteer, or simply share stories like these to inspire others. Together, we can ensure that more animals like this brave leopard and her cub can thrive in the wild. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed this story, please like and subscribe to our channel. Your support motivates us to bring you more tales of courage, compassion, and the incredible bond between humans and the natural world. Remember, kindness isn't just a choice, it's a way of life. Stay tuned for our next episode, and let's continue to make a difference, one story at a time.